Hello everyone, and welcome to another Chief Skills lesson. Now today's lesson was inspired by a post I saw on Chief Talk recently, which included a picture that showed an arched entry opening along with multiple columns on the corners. Today we will show at least one method of creating a porch entry with an archway, multiple columns, and differing ceiling heights using Chief Architect X11 software. In this tutorial, we will cover how to create the porch using railing walls with their own unique wall type. And we will also touch on how to create a two-pitch roof system using both the automatic roof tool along with some manual editing. So let's get started. Okay, hey everybody. So right here I've got a little, for an example plan, little house here, no roof yet. And I've moved things along. I've already drawn this railing wall. This is a railing wall to define this porch and create a room. So here I've got a room specification, and I've called it a porch. And I've set the floor 2 inches down. And it's got a ceiling, and well, actually it doesn't have a ceiling, but I'm going to go ahead and click that and put a ceiling on it. So I've already defined the ceiling too, by the way, as let's see, what is it? Beadboard. I'm going to make this a 1/2 inch and get rid of the drywall. There we go. And ceiling is 5.5 inch lumber, and I think that's all I need to know on that. So, you know, when you come over here and you look at this, you see there's a beaded ceiling in the porch, and it's got a flat ceiling and everything. So the first thing I want to talk about, though, is the columns and what happens here. When you do a railing wall, and this railing wall, oops, I moved it. When you define this railing wall, you start here on the rail style, and it's defined as open. There's no balusters. And it's post to beam, so here's the beam up here. And no rails. I've unchecked those. They're usually checked by default, depending on how you have it set up. I've chosen a column that's right out of the library. I think it's right out of the library. I don't know. It's looks pretty similar to something that's in the library. And I've spaced them on the wall as the standard is 8 feet. I've set the width 10. And now the one thing you have to know about the width is that's the widest point. So that would be this base right here is 10 inches square. Okay. And the only thing on this rails tab you have to worry about is the beam itself. So here's the beam, and I've got it 7 1/4 by 12. So that's this part right here. So the other thing one more thing I'll show you on here is the wall type. And I like to define my own wall for railings like this. And for this one, I just copied a wall and named it Porch Railing Wall 4. And it's a single layer, 4 inches wide. And one thing you have to know about these columns, the columns themselves are centered on this wall. So like if I draw a line right here in the plan, and I click on it and I center it on this wall, you'll see that, like this one too, centered on the wall. The column is right dead center. Columns in a railing wall will center. Newels, basically. If you're doing a deck railing or anything, the newels are always centered on the wall. The problem with that is, like you can see over here, is the base of the columns is hanging over the concrete. I wish Chief would give us the option to extend the floor or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We don't have that option. So what I like to do, and some people will put an invisible wall around the outside edge here, and you know, create a room outside this room, or maybe make the railing no room definition, and then put another wall outside this with a room definition and make the whole thing a porch, and then the slab will stick out wherever they define that wall. But I find that it's quirky, and it can mess with your center spacing of your columns, etc. So I just don't even mess with it. It's just too complicated. So to me, I just click in the room. I come down here and I make a room molding polyline. Then I convert that to a slab, and you could use a countertop too. I've done that before. But let's just make it a polyline solid. And I'm going to make it 8 inches thick. And I'm going to say minus 1.875. And yeah, that might be too low. Let's see here. Standard view. No, that's good. Okay. So it's slightly above the room slab. I mean, you could, in this porch here, when you got this porch room, you don't even have to have a floor under the room. You could uncheck it. See? But it creates other issues, so I just leave it. So let's just leave it for now. Here. Better do it over here. There we go. And it's -2. So it's really not visible, okay? And then what you do is you grab it here and there, I've got the whole polyline. What I want to do is get it to at least the face of this right here. And I know that the column is 10 and the wall is 4, so there's 6 inches, so 3 inches on each side. So what I want to do is actually take this polyline, and I wish I could figure out how to do it with concentric. I want to move it 4 inches. But it's not moving concentrically. So it doesn't really work. So I'm just going to do it manually here. And I think what I'll do is just grab it here and move it out 4 inches. -4. And then pull this back. And then I can just pull these -4, 0, -4, 0. Busy work. And now my slab sticks out past the columns, and it looks a lot better. And I have a room defined right here by the railing walls because they have room definition. The thing is here, if I look at this wall right here in the front, this is where we want to have it open above. Plus there's usually, the picture shows 3 columns on the corner. So here on the Newell's tab, I've got it set real wide, but if I set this at 96, we're going to get a column in the middle, which we don't want. But what I want is to replicate this distance, which I know is 2 feet. So since I have a single layer wall, I can just click right there on that main layer, drag this polyline and go 24, and then copy that and reflect it about, hold on, right there. And it's not perfect, so I don't know why, but it doesn't matter. I'll just move it. There you go. Should be 2 feet. Yeah, it is. Okay. Then I'm going to click on this wall, and I'm going to go Control B and break it right there. And break it right there. Now I got my 3 columns on the corner, as you can see over here in the elevation. So that looks better. Now what we're trying to do is create an arch in between them. So this wall is actually not going to be post to beam. We're actually going to have it post to ceiling. But the first thing, oh shoot. See, it seamed already. It did it before I could even fix it. So I should have done this first. So if you don't reverse the wall, then these walls will just seam back together, which I've reversed it now. And if you don't know where that is, it's right here, this little icon down at the bottom. Reverse direction of the wall, reversing wall layers. And this way here, I can open this wall and change its specification to post to ceiling, and they won't reseam. And there we got our opening, see right there? And now let's do the roof and work on the ceiling. Let's look at these walls. I've been messing with this, so I may have already defined this. So I got 2 pitches defined on this back wall. A main pitch of 4, an upper pitch of 12, and an in from baseline of 70, but I'm actually going to change that to, like 64. Okay. And on this wall, I have this defined as a knee wall. Don't ask me why. And then the 12-12 pitch. And on this wall, I have full gable, which that's not right. It should be a hip wall. And the pitch should be 4. Okay. And then this here is a full gable. This should be a hip. So that's a hip. This should be a full gable. This should be a full gable, and this should be a full gable. So let's open those and make sure, yep, full gable. This is a hip, and this is a hip. So let's open these, change those to hip. And this is a full gable. Okay. Now, this also, let's just check here. This pitch is going to be 12. And this pitch here is 12. This pitch here should be 4. Okay. Actually, this pitch and that other one should be upper pitch too. The upper pitch will be 12, and I'm going to put it 64. Was that what it was? I can't remember over here. 64 inches. And so same over here. I'm going to go upper pitch 12 and 64 inches in. And let's build our roof and see what happens. I get a little warning, but let's just take a look at our elevation here. And it works pretty good. So what I'm going to do here is pretty simple, really. I'm going to actually just delete this roof and delete this roof. Go back to my plan view, and I am going to actually just pull this down over here so we can see what's going on. All right. And then I am going to extend this roof out to here. I'm going to click on this roof here and then come down here and use this join tool and click it here. Get the warning, just ignore it. Now I'm going to click this and bring it over. Same thing, I'm going to hit this join tool. Okay, there you go. And we've got our dual pitched. And don't tell me, I mean, Chief just doesn't do everything perfect, so it's good enough for what we're doing right now. But as you can see, it's not perfect. My raked fascia board here is gone, and this has got some junk sticking out. I have a feeling it's because this is, it could be, just have to break it there maybe. Well, the other thing is on this roof right here, let's open that and we can go to the gutter page and turn that off right there. Okay. And then over here, same thing. Use the 3 key and break it right where they join. And then open this roof right here and turn that gutter off. That's an X11 feature. And I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, maybe if I just pull this down a little, it cleans it up a little. Not really, but we'll just leave it because it's not important. But, you know, when you do roofs, you just got to be willing to spend the time. Let's turn this into a technical illustration so you can see it a little better and put on some shadows. So what we have right here, this is the main culprit we want to work with right there. And that is where we're going to go next. So we're going to go here. I'm going to open this floor plan. I'm going to go up a floor. And as you can see, I have a floor here, not an attic. And as you can see here, this wall is turned the wrong way. So this is a good case where you can use reverse and say yes. And pull it out so it lines up. There you go. Now, this should be an attic wall. Let's see what it says. Yeah. Okay. And so what I do here is a couple things. I'm going to hit my F9 key. I'm going to pull this wall all the way back to here. Okay. I'm going to pull this wall all the way back. Find the center of this column right here. So it's 2 feet. So I'm going to click over here and go 24. And then I am going to go, well, that would be the center. So I'm going to pick up this line right here, copy it, go up a floor, paste and hold position, and then go down, copy that and reflect it about. I think that's it should be 2 feet. Let's just make sure. It's off a little. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my door or my room is fouled up. So let's take this and go up and paste and hold position. Okay. So that's the center of our column. And what I want to do is draw an exterior wall right here. And I'm going to open that, and I'm going to call that an attic wall. Okay. And I'm also going to reverse that. And I'm going to center it on this line right here. And then I'm going to go copy and reflect about. No, I'm just going to copy it and paste it right here. There you go. And I don't know why I got all those extraneous walls, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go like that, delete that little piece, and reverse it. Then I am going to use a doorway. Yes, a doorway. And I'm going to place it right here in the center. And I am going to grab it right here and move it to about right there and right here. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to make it 20 inches tall. I'll make it 74 wide. Nope, wrong way. 74 by 20. And then we will give it an arch, broken arch, and make it like 16 inches. And the other thing is we don't need a sill. So where is that casing? Right here. Okay. And actually this arch, I'm only going to make it 14 inches tall. And no. I'm only going to make it 20 inches tall. Okay. Like that. Maybe even smaller. Here. I was changing it in the wrong place. There we go. And let's click OK and just take a look. Voila. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Right there. Now we have a ceiling in there, which we don't want. But look at it in standard view. It looks pretty good. There's our walls up there. So how do we fix this? Well, here's how I would do it. Go down. Turn off reference display. Get into my room here and take the ceiling off altogether. Then I would go here and draw a ceiling plane. And I would draw it from here to here, say right now. Okay, and I would open it and change the pitch to 0, lock the pitch, and change the bottom height to 109, say. Then go to the structure tab, and I would, okay, we'll use the beaded ceiling, and then pull this out to here and back to here. I'm going to turn on reference display, and I am going to pull this right over to the face of this wall right here, right there. And then I'm going to break this and pull it out to here and back to here. And let's just take a look at that so we can see what we got going here. There you go. Now I would, to make my life easy, turn off reference display, click on that and copy it and reflect it about. And just make sure it's like in the right place, which it isn't. I'm not sure why. Something's off on my plan. And turn on reference display again and take this and pull it to the face of the wall. There. Let's pull it to there. Let's take a look. And there's our other ceiling. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Now in here, this may or may not be perfect. You may be perfectly happy with that. But you could even do this if you don't like that ceiling. Turn off reference display for now. And you could come in here with a ceiling plane and click on that ceiling plane and click it over to here. Okay. I think I turned my color off. There we go. And then open this and make the pitch 0. And it's 109 plus 12. Okay. And then curve the ceiling and maybe put it like 38 degrees or something. And then just pull this to the front. Let's take a look. We may not have it high enough, but there you go. There's your curved ceiling. So that's how I would do a porch with a arched entry. Every design will be a little different, but you can see that works pretty well, and gives you all sorts of abilities. Now, you may want a molding up here, which you could use a molding line. You may want this wall to be different. You may want it just to be, a smooth wall. You can just change the material. So, I mean, I think if I just took this right here and painted this, what would happen? There you go. So you can make it look like a surface. And for some reason, I got some wood showing through, but you get the idea here. It's looking pretty good, and it's pretty quick. And in vector view, what you might send to the plan, it looks pretty good. I don't know what happened to my siding there, but I have textures turned off maybe. There you go. So there you go, folks. That's a quick way how to do a arched entryway. Hope that helps. I think this is a pretty good lesson. Thanks. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.